Welcome back to the Swearwolves. I'm Bret.
I'm David.
David.
Yeah.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good, dude. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. What do we got? 2 weeks until Texas?
Yee! I'm excited, man. It's going to be fun.
You're very excited.
I'm very excited.
All you do
and
is
excitable.
all you do is talk about it all day long, every day. Constantly text messaging me. No, that's not true.
Who are we going to talk to? Who are we going to see? Oh, I hope so-and-so's there.
You know what, though? It is good that we are staying an extra day. Because originally we were going to stay just one day. The original plan was we were going to fly in and fly out the same day. We're idiots.
What a couple of morons. Yeah, so now 2 nights.
And then we were like, well, we'll just spend the night. And now we're spending.
And it's smart because we're going to meet a shitload of people.
Yeah, we're going to be in lines all day.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Well, you know what, though? Some of these people, their lines aren't going to be long.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there shouldn't be too many like super long lines. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. It's Dallas. I've never been to Dallas.
That's true. And the guest list is huge. I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of people at this show. So
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. But if you're going to be in the Dallas area for Texas Frightmare, why don't you go ahead and drop us a line? Let us know. Maybe we can meet up.
Yeah,
hang out
on Twitter, Facebook, the Slash. Do the little spiel. Yeah, reach out to us. It'll be fun.
Other than that, what else is going on, David?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Not a goddamn
We're
thing.
in April.
Brett. Yeah, spring is here again.
Spring has sprung, my friend.
Doing.
Let's talk about a couple of movies.
Let's do it.
I picked these movies because, well, sometimes I look through Shudder and I just get ideas.
See what's available.
And see what's on there. And that's how I picked one of these movies. And I was like, what movie would go along with that?
Oh, you picked that movie first?
Yeah. So I picked The Last Matinee, which came out recently, 2020. And that's on Shudder. And then I was like, you know what movie I haven't seen in a long time is the movie Popcorn.
I've never seen it.
And
well, I have seen it now.
I hope so, because we're going to talk about it. That movie came out in 1991. And
I'd always wanted to see it, so I was actually pretty stoked that you picked it, because I just the art, always thinking of like the face getting removed or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always see that at the video store.
I remember when Popcorn came out and seeing the previews on TV, and I was like, oh, I want to see that.
Oh, did it come out in theaters?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I just assumed it was a direct-to-video.
No, it was out in theaters. Pretty sure.
I'm sure
I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw it on video.
Yeah, cool.
So I paired Popcorn up with that because I was like, well, one's about movies and one's about movies.
It makes sense.
Thank you.
It just makes sense.
It just makes sense, and I think it paired well, actually. So we'll start with Popcorn. Like I said, came out in 1991.
Are you ready? Popcorn. Buy a bag. Go home in a box.
It was released February 1st, 1991. What was the #1 movie?
That's a weird time of year.
It is a very weird time of year.
Shot in the dark, I'm going Sleeping with the Enemy.
That is not correct.
I didn't think it was.
The movie that was #1 was, at the time, I think, the #1 movie of all time, box office.
Was it Home Alone?
Mm-hmm.
Still in February?
Home Alone had legs.
Jesus. That's crazy.
Home Alone, for a long time, was the #1 movie
That's nuts.
of all time in the box office.
I did not know that.
So I wonder when that movie even came out. It had to
came
come
out Christmas of 1990.
Yeah, before Christmas, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. February. That's wild.
February, people were still like, we gotta fucking see it again, Martha. It's fucking
Fucking
good.
Martha.
It's fucking good. Martha, we're going to see Home Alone for the 5th time.
Yep. Ain't a goddamn thing you can do about it.
No.
Unless you want to learn
Unless you want to
learn how to drive.
I love that fucking kid.
And I love that neighbor.
Yeah, that fucking neighbor, old man Marley.
He tugs at the heartstrings.
Yeah. When he hits that guy with the shovel. Fuck Joe Pesci.
And I like Joe Pesci because he can't swear in the movie, so he has to go. I just make mutter
It is a
noises.
good movie, though.
That's a great movie.
I love watching Home Alone every year.
Every year I watch it.
Yep.
It's classic.
It is a classic. I watched Home Alone 2 this year.
It's
also.
It's the same movie.
It's the same movie. It's worse.
Yes.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not as good. The story's almost identical, but it's more ridiculous. Like the stuff that he does to them, that would kill him.
Oh, like throwing the brick?
That would kill you.
Oh, absolutely.
Your brain would just pop. Your head would pop. It'd be like that fucking Deadly Friend.
That would have been an interesting twist, though. Like in this one, like they got to up the ante. Like Kevin kills somebody.
Kevin kills both of them.
Yeah.
They should really, because all those people are still alive.
Yeah, do another one.
Do another one.
That would be pretty cool.
Well, except for the dad. The dad passed
Oh, yeah,
away,
yeah,
right?
he's
But
gone.
we can just write that into the script. Oh, your dad passed away. And Kevin, like, the mom,
Catherine
O'Hara, she's home, and he goes to visit her for the holidays, Kevin does. And he's like, Mom, I'm back here. And she has to go do something, so he's home in her house. Maybe she's in a home alone.
A nursing home. He put her there. He put her in a home alone.
No, he goes and visits her,
Yeah.
right? And then Pesci and
Daniel Stern
show up because they're still alive.
Yeah.
And they reprise their roles, and they're like...
And they've been holding a grudge.
But now it's a rated R film.
Yep.
And now they're just
Joe
like,
Pesci can say fuck.
listen, you fucker. You ruined our
You
fucking
motherfucker,
lives. You ruined our fucking lives. And he's like, what? I didn't do anything. You're the ones who tried to rob people.
Fuck you, kid.
I was just trying to eat ice cream all day and put on shaving
That's one of my cheese
cream.
pizza. Yeah. And a fucking toothbrush. That's all I wanted.
Filthy animal. And yeah, that's the premise I'm pitching.
I like it.
And then Kevin, and then they like get the jump on him, and they start torturing him and doing the stuff that they said they were going to do, like cut off all of his fucking fingers.
And eat him or whatever?
Yeah, bite him off.
Oh.
And they do bite off one.
It ends, Kevin's got like a little stub.
Yeah. He's got like just 3
And it's his
fingers.
middle finger. In the end, he tries to give him the finger, but it's just like a little stub.
That's the name. Home Alone. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Home Alone yet again.
They made a new one. It's a British one. Hello. I'm Home Alone.
British. little limey kid.
I'm in my flat all by myself.
Yeah, I'll be on myself.
Mate,
Fuck you.
all I got is beans. I just got beans and toast.
Tasty beans in it. Yeah, in it. They say in it a lot.
When you say your British accent, it's always in it.
Yeah, in it.
Hey, governor, in it?
In it. Shine your shoes, governor.
In it?
In it. That's all I got. And try to work the word snog if you can. Give me a proper snog. I snogged your mum.
I'm going to snog me a lady later on.
Give her a proper snog.
In it?
In it. I say. Doing some I says.
Just talk like Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins.
Oh,
It's a jolly holiday for
I
you,
say.
Mary. My name is Bert. Like, that's not how we talk, isn't it? All right, Popcorn. That was the number 1 movie that day. Number 1 song.
I'm going Motown, Philly, back again.
Doing a little East Coast swang.
Mm-hmm. Boys to men going off. Not too hard, not too soft.
It's long overdue and now Philly slamming. Boys to men, ABC, BBD. The East Coast family. No.
Damn it.
It's this song. I've never heard this song, but it's called The First Time by Surface.
The First Time by Surface.
Well, it's called The First Time.
Yeah, by a band called Surface.
A guy called Surface.
It's a guy?
I'm assuming it's a guy.
It's not like a band?
Ooh, look at this guy. Oh, it's a group.
I knew it.
It's not a band.
Well,
It's like saying New Kids on the Block is a band.
Okay.
This is total early 90s.
Yeah.
Fucking cheese.
This is the most 90s music video I've ever seen.
Well, not even just listen to the music.
Oh,
just
yeah.
that fucking...
That synthesizer?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like...
Holding hands and snogging.
You never heard this song?
No. Well, maybe when the chorus kicks in.
I don't know.
I mean, it also sounds like every early 90s ballad.
Yeah.
Yeah, fast forward. Oh, shit.
I just guessed that's the line.
Oh, wow. Okay, I feel like a chorus is coming.
Yep, here we go.
Your eyes, I cried. Yes. Okay.
The first time he looked into her eyes, he cried.
What a fucking
what
baby.
What a wuss.
Dude, he didn't get any. She was like,
he didn't snog her.
he didn't give her a proper snog.
Yeah, she was like, hey,
Hey,
why are you
Oi.
crying?
Why are you crying,
got in your eye?
You got something in your eye, innit?
Then I looked into your eyes, I cried like a little
It's like, you got something in your
baby.
eyes? Like, no, it's just you're so beautiful. It's like,
Oh God,
this isn't
Too
going to
much.
work. You're way too sensitive.
And
I need a man.
and we just met.
Yeah.
Like this is the
fucking weird.
first time you're looking into my eyes. Like
Yeah.
I understand, like maybe 20 years from
And-
now, and you look into my eyes and you're like, God, you know what? You're so beautiful. You bring me to tears. That would be romantic. But this is the first fucking time
Yeah,
we're
it's
looking at
ridiculous.
each other. You're obsessive.
Also, you're not a good judge of character because I'm not a good person. And you should run.
I really fucking hate
Yeah,
you.
you don't want to be with me. Trust
I was
me.
only going out with you tonight so I could get a free meal.
Yeah. And now I've had that meal. Good day, sir.
I said good day, sir.
I said good day. Good day, I say.
Isn't it? So that was the number one song, The First Time by Surface.
All right.
Who knows if Surface was a popular group or not?
I don't know. Or a one and done.
They probably were really popular.
Massive.
Shower Me With Your Love. You remember that song? Shower. No, I don't know. This is the same song. It's the same fucking video. It might as well be the same fucking video.
Oh, yeah, this kind of sounds familiar. That music is terrible.
Let's see. Let's get to the chorus. We're going to get flagged for playing this fucking video too much. No, Surface is like, someone's fucking playing our video?
Hello, residuals.
Surface, we're not monetized. Oh.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. This sounds like a sex act. Shower me with your love.
Well, that's what I call my
totally,
semen.
I'm totally into that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Or piss all over me.
Yeah, that's true.
That was the original title. Was actually piss all over me. Piss on my face. This song by Surface.
Piss all over my face.
I'll cry
the
first time.
I looked into your brown eye.
First time I looked into your fucking urethra, I wept softly
Urethra.
as the pee hole opened. And
I know.
yeah,
That's fucking. You got good vision.
That's an image.
That's small.
That's
Your
an image you
urethra
can't
is
shake.
tiny.
Popcorn.
Popcorn. Written by Alan Ormsby. All right. Alan Ormsby wrote this, but he was credited as Todd Hackett.
Okay.
I don't know the reason why,
Yeah,
but I'm
why?
going to guess.
Okay.
Ormsby wrote the movie and was promised that he could direct it. He started directing it. 2 weeks later,
No, nah.
they fired him.
Oh shit.
They hired somebody else.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know if he fucked up. I don't know if he wasn't doing a good job. Studio was like, you're out of here. Or if they were just like, look, my little brother needs a job. Put him in this fucking...
Maybe between all the takes, he was playing Surface songs, and they're like, "Please stop."
It's like, but it's the number one song, guys.
Yeah, it's actually about peeing on somebody's face.
No, it's not, Alan.
It is to me.
But Alan Ormsby wrote a lot of movies. He's written a lot of movies. He's still alive. He wrote a book called Movie Monsters that came out in 1976. And I looked it up because I was like, what was that book? It was a book for kids. It's a book, and I sent it to you, that I must have checked out of the library a dozen or so times.
Yeah, I think I checked it out too. Like the cover looked very familiar.
In my elementary days.
Yeah.
So I bought one.
That's awesome.
And it's on its way.
Nice.
I wish I would have bought it, and I would have been like, and it's right here.
Here it is.
But
And then the rest of the episode is just us reading the book. Or not even reading, just looking at pictures of me
Going,
and
yeah,
reacting.
I remember that.
I'll say, oh, yeah. And then-
But if I will put a picture of it up, maybe not the picture of the one that I have, like right in this
like we're holding it.
area, but I'll put a picture of, if you remember this book, like if you see what I'm talking about, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you remember it if you're a kid of the 80s, you checked out this fucking
it
book
was
from the library.
very, very familiar.
It's awesome. Hopefully it's awesome. That and the orange, I forget what they're called.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Monster books, which are fucking expensive now.
Yeah, they're
If
collectible.
if you want a full set of them, there's I don't know if this is valued, but it's going on eBay right now for $5,000
Damn.
for a full set.
Jesus. Yeah, no thanks.
There's like 10 books.
Oh, I've got a lot of books in my phone. I'll just stick with that.
But he also created, this guy is talented, because he also created Hugo, Man of 1,000 Faces, the doll.
Oh, wow.
So it was a toy, and it's this little, Pee Wee Herman had it in like one
Sounds
of his
familiar.
movies, or I think.
Yeah.
but it's this doll, and you can put little disguises on it because he did a lot of makeup effects, and so you could put disguises.
I could see
on it
that.
and shit.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
talented
know.
guy.
So this guy, Alan Ormsby, credited as Todd Hackett, probably just because he's pissed off.
Yeah, that'll show him.
But
You should have, just for confusion, had him credited as Surface. Be like, oh, the popular R&B group?
yes,
The same.
this movie was directed by Mark Harrier, but Alan Ormsby actually did direct the movies within the movies.
Oh,
So
okay. That's cool.
The movies that they're watching, he directed. Music by Paul Zaza, who
We
did
know him. My Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody
Prom
Val-
Night.
A Christmas
Christmas
Story.
Story. Yeah.
He also did the theme song to Mr. Wizard's World. Did you didn't have cable?
No.
Mr. Wizard's World was a Canadian show, but it was on Nickelodeon in the early days of Nickelodeon, because Nickelodeon was a Canadian
I didn't know
company.
That. Yeah.
Pretty much. You can't do that on television.
Oh, yeah, all that stuff, yeah.
Pinwheel.
Fucking Pinwheel.
Pinwheel
I
was
remember Pinwheel.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And Mr. Wizard's World. Those were my fucking shows back in the day. It was like, where's Brett?
Those were the
Is
jams.
Pinwheel on?
Pinwheel.
He's sitting there.
I remember
watching.
the Pinwheel song.
Pinwheel, pinwheel, spinning around. Look at my pinwheel and see what I found. Pinwheel, pinwheel, spinning so bright. Pinwheel, good morning, and pinwheel, good night. Pinwheel.
Pinwheel!
Mr. Wizard's World. Don Herbert was Mr. Wizard, and he would do experiments. He's like the original Bill Nye,
Right.
but more boring.
Not as good.
Not as entertaining as Beekman,
Fucking Beekman's World.
but still awesome. And he would always have kids come in, and he'd be like, "Hey, Timmy, you ever see a grown man naked?" No, he'd be like,
In a
"Hey,
Turkish prison?
hey, Timmy, do you know why this happens? Here, take this hammer and bash this rose that I just dipped in liquid nitrogen." And then he would explain why.
Boom.
And then he'd be like, "No, give me your hand. I'll dip this in liquid nitrogen."
Now take your penis and put it flat on the table, please. Like, oh,
Okay.
all right. We're going to take this hammer.
You haven't seen Jackass Forever?
No, they do a hammer to the penis?
No, but they take two pieces of like Lexan and they sandwich their penis in there and they screw it tight and it just flattens and spreads out. And then they use it like a ping pong paddle.
That's hilarious.
It's fucking
Oh, that's
pretty
great.
awesome. Spoiler. Cast of Popcorn. Jill Sholin?
Shaylin?
She plays Maggie. She was in the movie Cutting Class, which we have never reviewed yet. We will someday.
I feel like I've seen her in something. She looked familiar.
She was engaged to Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
but she was also in Babes in Toyland with Keanu,
With Keanu Reeves,
Reeves.
that's right.
And she was engaged.
She
was dating
she
him
dated
too.
Keanu Reeves, I think.
Yeah, she dated him. She dated everybody she co-starred with. Tom Villard, he plays Toby. Tom Villard, that's a good kind of impersonation. That's kind of what he talks like. Tom Villard, I remember him most, besides Popcorn, he was in a movie. He was in Grease 2.
Man, he was not familiar to me. I've never seen Grease 2. You can't make me watch it. Never.
You're going to watch it.
No.
I'm going to pick it one of these days.
That'll be
One of these days
real
we're
horror
running out of
episode.
horror movies. I'm going to be like, you know what? We're going to review this
We'll do a
week.
special episode.
I've seen Grease 2 more times than I've seen probably almost any other movie.
It's awful. Shameful.
I love it. Grease 2 is one of those guilty pleasures of mine.
Yeah,
And
well, we all got 'em.
I'm not even that guilty about it. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
I like
this
Grease
movie.
2. Fuck off.
Yeah. What do you got to say about it?
Yeah. Adrian Zemed, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Somebody brought up, I think this was probably online not too long ago, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And I was like, oh yeah, I've seen that movie. And then after I said it, I was like, I've seen that movie
A lot.
many, many times.
Helen Hunt, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Shannon Doherty,
My wife likes it.
Jonathan Silverman. Oh yeah. My sis. Well, it's because I have a sister who's a couple years younger than me, so that movie was on all the time. In my
So
house.
maybe we'll pair Grease 2 up with
Girls Just Want to Have Fun. There you go.
That'll be our 200th episode.
Going all out.
Officially jumped the
We have
shark.
officially run out of ideas.
But Tom Villard passed away not long after
Oh,
this movie.
that's a bummer.
Yeah, unfortunately. Dee Wallace is in this movie. She plays Suzanne, who is Maggie, Jill Sholin's mom. Ish,
Yeah. For now.
for now. Who else is in it? Kelly Jo Minter from
Or
Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
And
from
People Under the Stairs. Yeah.
Finish my...
Sandwiches.
She plays Cheryl. Who else? Ray Walston,
Oh, yeah. He's got
plays
a small part.
Dr. M.
Yep.
That's pretty much
all
the named
That's
people.
enough.
I don't have any budget information, but the box office, what do you think that was?
Well, I didn't even know it came out in theaters, so I'm going to guess it's low. I'll say $2 million.
$4.2 million.
Okay, that's better than I would have guessed. Well, better than I did guess.
The budget couldn't have been that high.
I wouldn't think so. And mostly effects.
Yeah, and who's going to take the money? Like,
none of these actors are big name people.
No. Dee Wallace? Maybe. Ray Walston? Maybe.
Yeah, Ray Walston's part's so small, though.
Yeah, he's only in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, he didn't get much.
All right, plot of the movie. There's this girl. Her name's Maggie.
She's got a nightmare.
She's got a nightmare. She's got this reoccurring nightmare, but she's using it to fuel her script that she's writing.
She's writing a screenplay.
She's in a film school.
There's a girl named Sarah, and she's running from this guy with a really bad wig.
He looks like Jared Leto.
Yes, he does. Through like fire or something like that. And he's like, Sarah.
You know what's weird about that? So Jared Leto...
He does look like Jared Leto.
He does look like Jared Leto. And the guy that she's dreaming about is the leader of a cult. And Jared Leto is now in this new like Apple Plus thing where I think he's like a cult leader. Yeah. But Jared Leto and 30 Seconds from Mars also like started their own cult. Look it up sometimes. Look up 30 Seconds from Mars cult.
Okay.
And it's like they had some kind of retreat that they did in like fucking Turkey or Hungary or some fucking place. And like...
You just hang out with them
and you do yoga
while listening to 30 Seconds to Mars?
Pretty much. And it's a fucking cult.
Yeah, it's a hard pass. No, thank you.
I was talking to my son about this the other day, and he goes, "What? Do 30 Seconds from Mars have that many fans?" And I was like, apparently. Like, I'm not a fan of their music. But
no, I'm not either.
They've been around since the 90s.
I didn't even know they were still around. Yeah.
They're starting cults in Turkey.
You will not find any of their music in this house.
Jared Leto, good actor.
Yeah, but the band does nothing for me.
I bet you he's a fucking asshole.
I'm sure.
He's probably the biggest prick this side of fucking the solar system. The solar system is big, my friend.
Yeah, I'm not getting not getting good vibes off that guy.
No, me neither.
But yeah, she's having this weird recurring dream. She's like, oh yeah, I'm going to incorporate this into a
screenplay.
A movie that lots of people are going to watch. Yeah. Meanwhile, mom, Dee Wallace, she's getting weird prank calls.
Also, Dee Wallace, worst haircut ever.
Dude, I didn't even recognize her at first. I was like, who? And then it kind of cocked my head. I was like, where do I know this person from? And then it took me like, I don't know, 10 minutes into the movie. And I was like, oh, that's Dee Wallace.
Yeah.
With a terrible haircut.
Terrible.
Very,
awful.
Very early 90s.
Very Karen.
Yes.
Ask.
Yeah, she's definitely talking to managers wherever she goes.
Can I speak to your manager, please?
Mm-hmm. This popcorn is stale. I'll talk to the manager.
So Maggie's mom, Dee Wallace, she gets this recurring
like person
calls.
Like talking in like a demonic voice. It's like, what? I didn't make that out.
Maggie has a boyfriend.
Mark, he's very horny.
Yeah, he just wants to fuck.
Yeah.
He just walks up on her and he starts making out with her. He's like, when you gonna fuck me? Let's fuck.
Touches his boner to her.
And she's like, I am writing a script.
I'm good. We're at school right now. I can't bang you.
We can fucking fuck. Let's just fuck.
She's like in film school or something.
But she's not. She's in school.
But it's like a film class or something.
Yeah. There's like 5 kids in this film class.
Yeah, it's like your typical college class where... Yeah, there's 5 students, and everybody like sits on steps. There aren't even desks.
Yeah, it's like typical. You mean typical movie?
Yeah,
class. Yeah, because that's not
or
what
even
it's like in real college.
I would talk about Saved by the Bell many times, but like where the classroom has like 5 students, it's like that's not how classes work.
Yeah, or they would go on a field trip, and it would only be the ones that we
just
know.
The primary cast. Yeah, and the teachers.
And if there was one more, then we know that person's like something's happening.
Yeah, they're crucial to the plot.
Yeah. Tori Spelling. Or Leah Remini.
Yeah, they're making a little appearance.
So they're in this class and they have a teacher. Oh,
the professor, was it Davis?
Oh yeah, Tony Roberts. He plays Mr. Davis. And he's got an assistant who is Toby, which is the Tom Villard character. And they have an idea to get money for the film department.
Yeah.
Department. You have a fucking class at a community college, dude.
Yeah, you got a VHS recorder and like a boom mic.
But to get money, they are going to do an all-night horror movie marathon at this old theater. That's
film festival kind of thing almost.
It's going to be shutting down. And the theater is called the Dreamland Theater. And
they partner up with Dr. M, who like owns
a film memorabilia shop.
Yeah, and he's got like all these old gadgets, very similar to like an old William Castle film with like all the gimmicks that they would use, like smell-o-vision and things that would zap your chair,
3D
like 3D
glasses.
Things that would props that fly across the stage and stuff like that. So like we'll show some of these old movies and we'll incorporate some of the old technology.
The 3 movies that they're going to show is Mosquito, which is in 3D, and they have a flying mosquito.
Giant mosquito that's going to fly across the stage.
The Attack of the Amazing Electrified Man.
It's going to zap your ass.
Shockoscope.
Mm.
And then...
What was the movie that had the shock? Was it The Tingler?
I think so.
Yeah, that had the zap your buttocks.
Yeah. And then The Stench.
Yep, which is just somebody farting through a fucking like horn.
We just fed Barry a lot of beans.
Yeah, and just stick a cone up his ass. Have him lean over the balcony.
A funnel?
Yeah. There you go. Do a little tugboat.
I call this one the tugboat.
This one's the firecracker. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat. Here comes the Irish car bomb.
What's that one?
I don't know. It ain't good though.
Kaboom. As they going through equipment, they find a film canister, and it's really kind of cheesy dialogue too in this part. They're like, oh look, and they're all sitting around
An
like
old movie. Should we watch
semicircle?
Yeah.
around the trunk, and
we had just had a really good montage of them like cleaning up the theater.
The montage was great.
It was pure like late 80s, early 90s
and
montage.
it was a cover of this song like, we're going to the picture show. Who cares what movie we see?
Yeah, like
me and my baby. But it's like this reggae band version singing on. It's like fucking awesome.
I guess they filmed the movie in Jamaica.
Did they?
Yeah. So that's why there's like reggae music throughout the movie.
That's awesome.
And then at one part, like a reggae band like comes on the stage or whatever. Like, yeah, that's why. Weird.
But yeah, they're doing everything. They're cleaning up. These people can clean. They can do everything. And I like at one point they're like, we only have 3 weeks to put this together. We'll never do it. They get it fucking cleaned up in a day.
Yeah, 5 minutes, like done.
What do we got to do now?
Just got to prepare that funnel for the big fart.
I'm
eating beans over here. I'm eating as fast as I can. How long do I have to digest? You got 3 weeks.
Hold them in, Barry. Hold them in.
I can. But you're right. They find like a film canister inside a trunk or something. Like,
and they all
what's
like
this?
And their teacher is like, well, they keep those films away because they would explode or whatever. And then there's the smartass student who's like, yeah, they'll explode like my diarrhea or whatever. You know what he says? He just says some quip
like my asshole after some Mexican food. Like,
am I right?
Right, guys? No, just my asshole does that.
It's so fucking cheeseball. The fucking dialogue is almost cringeworthy.
It's really cheesy
like,
dialogue.
Oh my god! It's like, Alan Ormsby, you did fine, but come on, dude. That was some cheese dialogue.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what he's supposed to be doing, right? It's a movie.
I guess
it's a movie honoring those schlocky movies from the '60s. So, anyway.
But like, let's watch it.
Yeah, let's
fire it up.
Fire it up in the old film projector and let's see what happens. So they watch it, and it's this fucking Jared Leto.
Fucking Jared Leto in his wig, yeah.
And he's talking... And
possession. Or possessor.
Possessor.
Possession.
Possessor. The actual Jared Leto is not Jared Leto. It's Lanyard Gates.
And the film is like just like mostly a close-up of his mouth.
And his eyeball.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
really weird.
Bullshit.
Just him saying some shit.
But the professor tells a story that the Lanyard Gates killed his own family while shooting the final scene before setting the theater that he was showing
on fire. And killed a bunch of people in the movie theater.
And trapping the audience inside, yeah.
And Maggie recognizes, like, that's the guy from my dream. And I think she passes out.
Is that Jared Leto? And they're like, yeah.
Yes. 30 Seconds to Mars? Yes. Oh, shit. Passes out.
But then she becomes obsessed with him. And she's like, why am I dreaming about this fucking Lanyard Gates?
Yeah, and she tells her mom, and you can tell mom's hiding something.
Mom knows
something.
Yeah.
So. And then she immediately gets a phone call from the creepy demonic voice again. It's like, oh, D. Wallace.
D. Wallace, this is Jared Leto.
You were in my favorite movie, E.T. Meet me at the movie theater.
Okay.
Were you also in Cujo?
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. I didn't like it as much. Okay. Meet me at the movie theater. All right.
So she goes down there with a gun. Mm-hmm. And she's
not fucking around.
She's going to shoot him. And she gets captured.
Yup.
We don't see anything else happen.
No, but like when she gets to the theater, the marquee letters like fly off of it at her. I thought that was kind of weird.
It is weird once you know
Yes.
everything.
It's like, is this like a supernatural element? What's going on here?
Yeah.
But something grabs her and pulls her through the screen.
All right. So the movie festival starts. And Maggie's working the box office. And Mark comes, her boyfriend.
And horny ass Mark shows up.
And he's like, hey, you want to fuck? Oh, I guess not.
He's got a date with him.
I got a date.
That was fucked up. Like if you're dating somebody, like that takes some balls. Like to go to where the person is working, you know they're going to be there, and bring a date.
He wanted to show her, man. It does take some balls.
But he has like a look and he's like, oh, Maggie. Like he's trying to apologize. And it's like, what?
You just brought the hooker with you.
Now, I would take that as we're broken up now.
Yeah.
We are not a couple. Right?
No. Yeah. Exactly. He just wants to get his dick wet. Mm-hmm. And so he's going to take this woman, his date, out to a 6-hour-long movie festival.
Go see a bunch of cheesy ass movies.
Yeah. Find a better thing to do.
Yeah, he's like, the third movie, this guy puts a cone in his asshole and farts all over the audience. It's great.
He's been prepping for weeks.
He hangs on the back. We might get pooped on.
Little speckles.
Yeah. Oh. Rain and gravy. And then a customer shows up at the box office and buys a ticket. We don't see the face. We just see like hands and stuff. And he calls her Sarah. That's the girl from the dream. She's like, oh, I think that's the guy.
Sarah, smile. It was Daryl Hall.
Yeah.
He's like, smile a while for me.
Sarah, smile.
She goes looking for him.
Yeah.
And she's going all around the place. And she goes up to Toby, who's in the projection booth. And she's like, Toby, I saw fucking Lanyard Gates.
He's like, get the fuck out of here.
Toby's like, well, they never did do it.
They never found the body.
Well, they never found the body.
They never found the guy's body. It could be him.
I'll go check it out.
We'll see ya.
He gets locked out of the fucking...
Oh, you guys. Let me in. Yeah, he's all upset.
She's up in the projector booth. Mark comes up. And he's like, Sarah, we need to talk.
Yeah, about that chick I'm with and banging.
Yeah.
She means nothing.
She means nothing. I just want to try to... Listen, we can still date, and if you don't want to have sex, that's fine. I'll just
have
fuck
sex with
her.
Win-win.
Win-win.
Everyone wins. Yeah.
She's all... I
I'm
don't know the math on
gonna poke some holes in this one, I think.
Listen, it's really complicated. It's like Uranus.
Yeah.
Get it?
Get it?
But they're up in the... She's up in the projector booth talking to them. Meanwhile, their professor...
Yeah, Davis...
He's
working
like,
that mosquito rig.
He's really excited about this.
He's like, oh, these kids are going to shit their pants. Maybe onto the audience a little bit. Oh, I can't wait.
He's going to release this giant mosquito right at the right spot. And it's
he's got the remote control out.
Yeah. Which is a little... I mean, wouldn't they just go...
Yeah, you just fling it. Let gravity do the rest, right?
Yeah, you don't need a remote.
No, and like a multi-directional one with 2 controls. This thing was like a fucking fast tracks.
This is supposed to be from the 60s?
Yeah.
Come on. They didn't have remote controls like that. Anyway, he sets the mosquito in motion. The mosquito goes. And, but we see hands and a new remote control.
Oh my God.
And it's overriding his.
What?
And the mosquito turns around.
And he's like, oh.
He's like, what's going on here? Right? He's trying. Oh, God damn it. Fucking, I need new batteries. Anybody got a remote?
Maybe I'll spin them. Do the spin trick. That never works. Take one battery.
Take one battery out.
No, we've already tried this. Get a fresh set. Fucking Duracells. Can't top the copper top, please.
Fuck
and I can't mix the Duracell. Well, if you mix, you can't have Energizer. And, no, it's very complicated.
Anyway.
But it turns around and then
it turns around and it comes at him.
Yep.
And the mosquito's got a sharp point.
Yeah.
And it comes right at him. And
his little snout.
Stabs him.
It fucking impales him and kills him.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Then we see a figure drag his body off into like this back room, and it makes a mold
like
of
a
his face.
vacuum type mask or whatever. Yeah, with his face.
And then it puts the mask on,
Yeah, we're
and
like,
it
oh
becomes
shit,
him.
someone is walking around as the professor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was weird.
fucking Hugo.
Kind of cool. Hugo. Yeah.
The man.
The man of mystery. Hugo, the man of many disguises. What was it called? Hugo, man of 1,000 faces.
So then the next movie starts, and now we got Bud, who's one of the other characters. He's in a wheelchair.
He is, yeah.
And he's getting the rigging set up to zap everyone's buttholes.
He's really excited about it.
He's
They're all super
everybody's
excited.
very excited. To be honest, though, I would be excited if I was like, I'm going to zap all these people's butts and they don't even know it.
Yeah. Their buttholes.
Yeah, right in the butthole.
He's all bzz, bzz, bzz. So he starts doing that. Well, he gets duct taped. Wait, does the girl get killed first? Or does Bud get
That's
killed
later,
first?
Bud, I think.
No, I think
No, the girl dies before. So, so we first just get an establishing part of Bud getting the rigging ready, but then that girl Tina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tina goes back to where the professor is.
Yeah, and we find out they're having an affair.
Yeah, because Tina, that's how she gets A's.
Yeah, she's been banging him.
That's what she says. And she starts making out with him, but then as she's making out, he like bites her, or his mask comes
she bites
off.
his lip or something, but like his face starts coming off.
And
she's like, oh,
what the fuck? It's like Society, like when their faces are like melting together. But she sees that it's not the professor, and then he kills her.
He kills her.
And then he uses her as a puppet.
Yeah, because somebody comes in and like,
Mark and Maggie come in.
They're like, oh, everything's fine.
Yep. And they're like,
Oh, go sit down.
And then he uses her face and he puts her face on and he becomes her. That's kind of weird.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, he does put her face on
That's gross.
at one point. I mean, not her face, but he makes a mask of her face.
Okay. And then this is where Bud dies. Then he goes back and he zaps Bud.
He straps Bud to his wheelchair and he puts, I don't know, it's very complicated.
Yeah, like wires into like the console or something.
then
It's like,
into
oh,
his
and you see
wheelchair.
when you see this light come on, the orange one over, like you'll be fried.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, and he's trying to like reach to like
Unplug it.
but he
can't.
can't.
And he gets fried.
Yeah.
That's it for all the deaths, by the way.
Was that really the last one?
Yep.
That's well.
Besides the killer.
Yeah.
The killer dies.
Yeah.
But there's only 3 deaths.
Huh.
The
I didn't-
professor,
I didn't really think about that.
the one chick, and
Yeah.
the other one. Mark tries to go back to his seat, by the way, that he left his date, and another guy has.
Oh yeah, and he's like got his arm around the girl, and he's like,
She's-
beat it.
Yeah, and she's like, he took your spot.
Yep. I
So-
needed a man.
So she's fucking some other guy now.
Oh, and when Bud gets zapped, it causes the power in the whole theater to go out. So now there's no power. So that's when the reggae band comes on stage. Their electric instruments work,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I was like, that's a little odd. But okay.
Everybody's digging it though because the other thing too is like if I went and saw a movie festival and it was like this rowdy, I'd be so pissed off. It's like at the beginning of Scream 2 when they're going to see Stab.
Yeah, and everybody's going ape shit. Like,
and
trying to
throwing
watch a
stuff.
movie here.
It's like, oh, God, can we go to a different theater?
Yeah, stop. I just want to watch the
I
movie.
just want to really watch this movie. I've been waiting for this for a while. I've been reading articles on Fangoria about this, and I've been very excited.
For Scream 2. You're like, it's been a whole 10 months or whatever since Scream came out.
Yeah.
I've been waiting a very long time.
Yes. But anyway, if I went to a film festival and watching this kind of stuff and people were that fucking crazy,
Obnoxious.
I would leave.
Yeah.
I'd ask for my money back. I want to speak to your manager. I got the D. Wallace haircut. They killed
Maggie
Bud.
finds Bud. Yeah, she finds him dead. Somewhere around here, she puts things together that I can't remember exactly how she figures it out. Who Gates is, but she comes to find out that Gates was actually her dad. She is Sarah. Maybe he tells her. I can't remember. And D. Wallace is actually her aunt, not her mom.
Yeah, her mom was killed.
Yeah.
And right before
he was going to kill Sarah / Maggie,
D. Wallace
showed up, shot him. Yeah.
So she thinks that that's him.
Yep.
That Lanyard Gates is the killer.
It's her dad. And now he's going to try to kill her.
And so she says, "You're my dad," to the killer. And the killer's like, "Fuck, you're fucking stupid. And your dad died."
Dumbass bitch. He didn't say that.
He's like, "But I was the kid in the front row. And when your aunt killed Gates and started the fire,
My mom died.
my mom died and I got burned all
And I
over
got
my
all
body
fucked up.
and I'm fucked up. And so now I'm going to kill you."
Yep. And we
And
also
that's the
find
story.
out who the killer is, right? Does he also
Right
reveal who
now,
he actually is,
we
or not
find
yet?
out that it's Toby.
Yep. And Toby, his real face is just a fucking Freddy Krueger type burned mess, and he wears masks.
But he's learned how to make these masks that can, like, I don't know if they're out of, like, I don't know what they're made out of, like skin cells. I didn't really quite understand the whole science
it looks
behind
like
it. But he can make them look really real.
Yeah.
Like Scooby-Doo masks.
He just slaps that on, and that's how he goes about.
And then he puts
town.
the Toby mask on, like the Tom Villard mask on, and his ears like flopping around and everything. That's kind of cool.
It was cool.
But he goes through all the masks, and he's like, here, the professor, and he puts that one on.
And he can do their voices, kind of.
He puts the girl's mask on. He's got it all down.
Yep. And he's determined. He's like, okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to finish the movie, and I'm going to do the last scene as it should have been done.
Yeah, that Lanyard couldn't do, and I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you. Yep.
And everybody's going to witness this.
She's like, oh, no, you ain't.
And he's like, yeah.
Yes, I am. She's like,
nah. And then that goes on for about 15 minutes.
Before we get to that, there is another death. There's a couple more. Or no, there's at least one more, because that guy, Leon, the guy who's like dressed like a mad scientist, he goes to take a piss.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Leon. I forgot about him.
Yeah, and this is like probably one of the best parts of the movie. And it's always funny because he's pissing, and like he looks to the guy next to him who's also pissing,
and it's
himself, and he's like, and then that guy starts pissing on him. He's like, oh, and he pushes him into a stall, and I think he throws like some sort of gas or something into the toilet.
Yeah, and it blows up.
Yeah, and he explodes.
Yeah, that's the last death.
And then he goes to kill the other girl who's up in the booth, and then she reveals, thinking that he is Leon, that she has a crush on Toby, and he's like, "Well, fuck, she likes me."
Yeah.
She
likes me.
Golly. So he doesn't kill her.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, now he's gonna recreate this last scene.
And Mark has gone off to Toby's apartment because Toby was missing. Mm-hmm. He goes there and he finds all these like pictures and
articles
of serial killer type shit. He's like, "Oh fuck, okay, Toby's the killer, so I got to go back to the theater to try to save everybody."
Yep. And he has to climb up, scale the wall.
Yeah, to get
up in the balcony. Locked. And then he sees that Maggie is going to get sacrificed. Dee Wallace is still alive, mind you. She's in a body cast.
Yeah, holding a gun.
Yeah. And Toby's he's getting ready to kill. And the audience
in front of the
thinks
audience,
it's a show.
Yeah, and they're into it.
They're like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Kill her.
Like fucking throwing spoons at him and shit. But
yeah, he's like, got to give the people what they want.
Mark takes off his belt. And fucking Indiana Jones.
Totally Indiana Jones is down.
And he lands on Toby. And then the mosquito kills Toby.
Yeah, the mosquito rigging. Because when
Mark
slid, he did the Indiana Jones, it broke the rigging. And then, so the mosquito slides down, impales him, kills him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I like that Maggie was like, "Oh, you're just like Indiana Jones." I was like, yes, I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
I'm glad they acknowledged it.
And then she's like, "There I go with movie references again." And then the last line of the movie, they're like out by the ambulance, of course, right?
Yeah.
Every fucking movie, they're out by the ambulance. They got like a blanket that all the ambulance drivers are required to give to victims. And she's like, "Will you just hold me?" And that's it. That's like the end of the movie. Like, "Will you just hold me?" And he hugs her.
Very abrupt.
It's like that's the last line. It was like nothing like where it goes a close up of her eyes where she's all ding.
Yeah, or like there's a hint that there could be a sequel or something like that.
No, they weren't going to make a sequel out of this.
Dude, when Toby died, did you notice how much flopping he did? He twitched for a long ass time. He did
a lot of fish flopping.
There's a lot of fish flopping going on.
And he more so than when the professor got killed by the same method.
Yeah, he had a little. Maybe he struck a nerve.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, why don't you go first on this one, because you had never seen it.
This movie is super cheesy, but I will say this movie was a pleasant surprise. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Yes. I thought this movie was a lot of fun.
It is.
In fact, when it was over, I was like, why haven't I heard more people talk about this movie?
Agreed.
Yeah. I thought the visual effects, like all the makeup, was awesome. It had a twist that I did not see coming. Like when it was revealed that Toby was the killer, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was her dad. Oh. I thought they were going to go pretty straightforward. I wasn't expecting there to be some big revelation.
Yeah.
And I thought, the dialogue was cheesy, but it was, kind of fun. I liked the movies within the movies. I mean, we didn't talk through those very much, but those were delightfully cheesy. I just thought this movie was just a lot of fun. I mean, it's not a good movie, so I'm not going to give it like a super high rating, but I'm going to give it a 3.
A 3 from me as well. It is a lot of fun, and it's not boring.
No.
And
I would totally watch this again.
And it is cheesy in the right ways. The only thing, well, not the only thing, but one thing that I wish they would have done differently. Not have Toby die the same way the professor died.
Yeah.
Toby dying with the mosquito, I think, was awesome. And I think they should have had that.
Had the professor die a different way. Agreed.
Because it ruins
Yeah. We've already seen that kill.
We've already seen that kill.
Yeah.
And so when you see the mosquito, you're like, oh, the mosquito's going to stab
him. Here it comes again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wish he would have died a different way.
Right.
So just kill the professor a different way, and let's call it a day.
Yeah. Maybe use the smell.
Or something.
Fart right into his face. Oh.
He gets poop in his eye.
He died of pink eye. Worst case of pink eye ever, and he died from it. But it took a long time. Like, this is like 6 weeks later. He's in a hospital bed.
His eyes all
like,
crusted.
Oh, someone just kill me.
No, his eyes get all crusted from pink eye, and he accidentally crosses a crosswalk when he's not
gets hit by a bus. End of movie. There you go. See,
Toby had it all planned out.
Come on, Alan Ornsby. That's the ending.
But yes, that is popcorn. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I watched this a few times, but it's been years. And now that you say the Jamaican thing, part of me was like, doesn't this movie take place in Jamaica? But it doesn't. It was filmed in Jamaica, though. That's weird that I had that memory.
Yeah, I don't know where it's supposed to be, but it's in Jamaica.
Any day, every place, America.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that I haven't watched it in a while, but it's nice to go back to those movies and go, did I like it? Yep.
Yes, I did.
The next movie we're talking about is the movie that I saw on Shudder, and that movie's called The Last Matinee. Came out September 3rd, 2020. So not that long ago.
Yeah, pretty recent.
Yeah, less than 2 years ago. What was the number one movie in the theater? Like, this was right after the pandemic.
This is so hard. Yeah, nobody was going to the movies.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've never even heard of this movie.
Okay. I took a shot in the dark and I went with Birds of Prey.
No. I've never even heard of this movie. Tenet?
Oh, yeah. That's the Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
With like the stuff moving backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yes, it's really confusing. It's really weird. And the sound mixing is terrible. It's like one of those movies where you can't understand anything anybody's saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And what's his name? Denzel Washington's kid. That guy.
Okay. I think he goes by Denzel Washington's kid.
Denzel Washington's kid. That guy was in it. Yeah. It was good.
Yeah. Well, it was the number one movie in the theater on September 3rd, 2020. What do you think the number one song was?
I'm picking one that I've picked before, and it wasn't the number one song. I'm going with Levitating by Dua Lipa.
No.
One of these days.
But I think this is the one that it probably was the last time you picked. It's Dynamite by BTS.
Oh, God. Fuck that song. Terrible.
I don't even know how it
goes.
Like dynamite.
Oh, yeah.
BTS, man.
Fuck that shit.
People like that.
Dude, more like IBS.
Get it?
Little poop joke.
We don't do those.
No.
My boss, she is a huge BTS fan.
I don't get it.
She is a woman of my age.
That's weird.
She loves New Kids on the Block. She loves Backstreet Boys. She loves boy bands. And she loves BTS. She drove out to California last year.
That's...
to a BTS concert.
Each their own. There's plenty of weird music I like. But...
Not one. But 2 days in a row, she went to the same concert.
Wow. Yikes.
I can't. I was just like,
good for you.
That's cool. Maybe it wasn't even last year. Whatever it was.
When she told you this, was this in person?
I know it was over.
Okay. That's when you do the. That's when you do the Jim Halpert and you look at the camera that doesn't exist.
I was looking at a camera, so I thought.
Oh, there you go. I just said it. You just went.
I just went to the Zoom to my webcam and I went. The Last Matinee was written by Manuel. I'm gonna mispronounce all these names, but it's Manuel Facal.
Fuck all.
Fuck all.
Manuel, fuck all.
I can pronounce that. Maximiliano God, I love that first name.
Maximiliano.
But he's not Italian.
No.
Contenti.
This movie's from what, Chile?
I think it's Argentinian.
Okay.
I think it's
somewhere in South America.
Yeah. Directed by Maximiliano Contenti. Music by Armand Gonzalez. I got that one.
Good job.
The cast is a lot of people with names that I can't pronounce. And I apologize. They're probably very easy to pronounce names. It's probably like saying John Smith in English, but it's not.
No, I'm going to take a pass.
But I will say who the main characters are. We got Anna. We also have a guy. He's credited as
oh yeah, I saw it too. Asesino
come ojos, which means
that's the killer.
Eye-eating killer.
Oh,
that's the name of the killer.
That sounds right.
There's also Angela, Tomas, Mauricio, Esteban, Hugo. There's a bunch of people. Budget and box office don't have any information for. The Last Matinee is a throwback movie to giallo.
Yes.
And slasher films.
Yes.
From the 70s and 80s.
Reminded me a lot of Demons. Sorta.
Okay.
In that it's contained in a movie theater. That's about where it ends. And some of the Italian influences.
Yes. There's a lot of like the giallo and there's a lot of slasher, American slasher nods in this. It takes place in 1993. The first shot that we see is a guy driving up. We don't see his face. And he has this big jar of olives.
Yes.
I was like,
at first I was like, are those pickles? And then he takes one out and eats it. I was like, oh, that's an olive.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I love olives.
Oh, olives are gross.
Oh, what? You are nuts, dude.
Olives and mushrooms, man. Gross.
Oh, God.
Not a fan
of
either.
If I could only eat olives and mushrooms and live and have a sustainable life, I would.
Do it.
I don't know. I don't know if you can.
I don't think it would work.
Olives are probably good for you. They got healthy fats. But the thing that makes olives good is the brininess. So it's a lot of salt.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I love green olives. I love Kalamata olives. Black olives. Any type of olives. Mushrooms. I like those too. Portobello. Nothing. None of this is doing anything for you.
No.
Put it on my pizza.
Gross. Dude, if there's even like just a sliver of an olive like on a piece of pizza, I can taste it. There's an olive in here. Gross. Anyway,
I'm gonna put an olive on my.
But that guy rolls up. He's like got a hoodie on and pops an olive in his mouth, and then he like walks towards.
But it's like the world's largest jar.
It's a big ass jar, and he's only got like a couple of olives left. Like, dude, consolidate that into a smaller jar.
Well,
please.
there's a reason why he has this big jar, and we're gonna find out.
He needs to fill that jar.
Well, he is called the eye-eating killer, and not for nothing.
Oh, gross.
He rolls up on this movie theater. So there's this movie theater that's playing a matinee that day. And it's the last showing of the day. It's probably like a Sunday or some shit. Who knows what day of the week it is. Yeah. But they had showed a previous movie, and there's like this little boy who's stayed in his spot, and he's gonna
sneak
watch the horror movie.
Yeah.
By the way, the horror movie being shown is a movie called Frankenstein: Day of the Beast.
I heard that it was directed by the director of this movie.
No, it was directed by the guy who played the killer.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. Ricardo Islas. All right. So the projectionist for this movie is this kind of older man who is not really that healthy.
No.
And his daughter shows up.
She's an engineering student. And she goes to the ticket counter and she's like, oh, how's dad doing? And they're like, oh, yeah, he's doing okay. And so-and-so called in sick. And that's the other projectionist. And he's like, well, who's running the booth tonight? And she's like,
your dad.
She's like, well, fuck. My dad's old and he's too old and unhealthy to do a double shift. Like, that's not fair.
So she's going to take over his shift.
And she's been watching him since she was a kid. So she's like, Dad, I know everything about, like, I can run this just fine.
Yeah, you go home and
I already called you a cab. Get out of here.
What a good daughter.
I know. It was really nice of her.
And she's got a test in 3 days.
She's got a big exam, so she's like, I'm going to study. It'll be nice and quiet up here. I'll change the reels. Like, get out of here.
Sounds like the perfect job.
I got this.
And if you want to watch a movie, you can
get to watch a movie and peace and quiet.
Frankenstein: Day of the Beast. Looks like a piece of shit movie, but
it does. And then we meet some other kids. There's some kids that are outside drinking, teenagers.
Yeah.
One of them looks like Jonah Hill mixed with like Shelley from Friday the 13th Part 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got the girl who's like their friend, and then you got the kid who's pining over this girl that he saw on a bus.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, you kept staring at her ass and stuff. And it's like, oh, she just got off at a different stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, he can't get her out of his mind.
He calls her Brooke Shields.
Yeah, she looks like Brooke Shields.
So they go in to see the movie. And there's a couple other people that are watching the movie. Oh, there's a guy who's on a date with a girl.
Like their first date is the way I took it.
Yeah, but she's
kind of weird. She's like,
she almost seemed like a prostitute, but I guess she wasn't.
I think it was a first date, and she was like, so you're bringing me to and because he didn't even know what movie they were seeing. And she's like, why did you even bring me here? And he's like, oh, I just figured it'd be fun.
Yeah, fun.
And she's like, whatever. And she like lights up a cigarette. And then, the security guy or usher or whatever comes over. He's like, you got to put that out. And
Mauricio.
She does, and then lights it back up.
Yeah, Mauricio's the usher. And Mauricio, you can kind of tell that Anna, he kind of has a little
thing for her.
A little thing for her because he tries to make conversation with her and she's like,
not having it. She's like, I'm very busy. I got to study.
Studying.
Yeah, please fuck off.
So he goes and fucks off.
Yeah.
He gets killed when he's out having a cigarette.
Yeah, he goes out to have a smoke and killer comes up, slits his throat.
There's a lot of blood in this movie.
Something I liked about this movie, like not knowing anything about it going in, was trying to figure out who the stars were and not knowing any of the actors. Like I thought that guy who got his throat slit was going to be one of the main characters. Mm-hmm. I mean, I already put it together that Anna, or whatever her name is, was going to be like the main person, but I was like, oh, it's going to be her and this guy teaming up.
Yep. Who are the survivors?
Yeah, but no, he's the first person to die.
He's like the first one.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
The little boy is watching the movie. There's a lot of stuff that happens, but the little boy's watching a movie and we, as the audience, see the little boy, and in the background we see another audience member getting killed, like off in the distance. Like it doesn't close up on it, but you can see it happening. You're like, oh, behind him and stab him.
Yeah. And then the couple that's on a date, the girl is bored and she just starts jerking off the dude.
Yeah. And he fucking comes.
He finishes. And then he stands up and they show it. It's like,
got a big old wet spot.
Got a spot there, buddy.
And the little boy has peed his pants at the same time. Yeah. So they both go to the bathroom and they run into each other and they both look at each other's pants.
And they're both like, you got a spot there. And I think Anna sees him too. And she points it out. It's like, hey, you got... She
points out because he had slipped and fallen into blood. And he doesn't know it.
And she thinks he's talking about the jizz stain on the front of his jeans, but she's talking about the blood stain on his ass. The jizzy... fucking DJ Jizzy gets his head smashed against
it's very Halloween 2018, like when he like grabs that guy in the bathroom and like smashes his head and knocks his teeth out.
Yeah, it like smashes his head against the floor and then stabs him in the heart, right?
But slow as shit. And the guy is like dazed. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on because he's got concussed.
Yeah, and he can't even fight. He's just like, oh.
Right, and blood just pours out. Yeah, that's how that guy dies. How does his date die?
She
gets a knife through the back of the head, I think.
Yeah, because now the guy that likes the Brooke Shields girl, that girl arrives at the movie theater.
Yeah, and he's like, it's a sign.
And she's been sitting all by herself, and he's like, why is she all alone? And he finally works up the courage to go talk to her, and they have a little conversation.
And then she's like...
And then they kiss.
You want to make out?
Yeah, and he's like, fuck yeah, I do. And then while they're kissing, they just get fucking shish kebabbed together.
Through their mouths.
And out the back of both of their heads.
So his friends that are in the balcony still think that they're just making out.
Yeah, they're like, they haven't moved in 10 minutes. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And the girl's like, oh, I'm going to go check it out and see what's going on.
Well, right as she does, like, that's when, like, everybody starts seeing
That's when Handjob Girl gets it.
Yeah. And everybody sees this.
Yeah, and she gets stabbed in the heart, I think, also. And then she gets stabbed in the eye.
That's when we start seeing...
And this is where we start seeing that the killer is gouging out their eyeballs.
Everybody who he's killed has missing eyeballs now.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck? And the boy, the Jonah Hill, and the one girl, Angela, they go running to get out of there.
Yeah, because they see it.
But Jonah Hill gets caught.
And he gets stabbed in the back.
Oh,
he's dead.
He's dead. And so now it's Angela and Anna. And they've teamed up.
Because around this time the film burns, and Anna has to fix the film, and she puts it back together. So when the lights come back on, she sees all the dead bodies on the floor, and she's like, "Oh fuck!"
Yep.
Yeah, and then that other girl, Angela, gets up to her. So yeah, now those two have teamed up,
and they've locked the killer inside the theater.
Yep.
But they hear the little boy.
Like,
we gotta fucking rescue this kid. So they go to rescue the kid, and then the killer, of course, gets out.
Yeah, and they've also found around this time that the phones have been destroyed.
The phone was just...
Oh, one of them.
Only one of them was destroyed, and that's because Angela threw the brick at the... or whatever, and she destroyed it accidentally.
But she's like, there's another phone upstairs in the projection booth, so let's get up there.
And I should also say that the killer locked them in the theater. So it has a big metal...
Yeah, the thing that he used to shish kebab the two people that were kissing is the same thing he used to break the door.
Yeah, and it's one of those metal gates.
Almost like a garage. Yeah, or like what they have at the mall kind of thing.
Yeah, to say that it's closed.
Yeah.
So he's locked them in there. So they go up to the projection booth. They got the kid, and they go up to the projection booth, and they lock themselves in there. Well, the killer comes... Oh, before they do that... I'm sorry. I'm going to go all over the place. Anna runs into the killer when she's rescuing the little boy, and she stabs him in the fucking eyeball.
Yes.
And his eyeball is hanging out
by just a string.
So he grabs his fucking knife and he cuts his eyeball off of his fucking body.
Yeah. Oh, so gross.
They go up to the projection booth, the little boy, Anna and Angela.
And they lock the door.
They lock the door. She calls the cops. The cops are going to be on their way.
They're locked in there. All of a sudden, now the killer's banging on the door. He's trying to get in. He does.
He gets in and he's carrying the jar of fucking
eyeballs. And then he's got something in his mouth. And then he like spits it out. And it's his own eyeball that he's had in there.
Yeah.
So gross. And he puts it in there.
He puts it in.
He takes another eyeball out. Fucking pops it in his mouth and eats that shit. Blah.
Fucking gross. It's so fucking gross.
Nasty.
It reminded me though of, do you remember Kill Bill Volume 2?
Oh yeah, with the eyeball, Daryl Hannah's eyeball that she steps on.
Yeah. Uma Thurman.
Yeah, when she snatches it out of her eyeball. Face. Yeah.
And then she squashes it with her bare foot.
Yeah.
It's all creamy.
So gross.
Like, what do you think an eyeball tastes like?
Deliciousness. Only one way to find out.
Would you eat one?
Hell no.
Like a cow's eyeball.
No.
Not a human.
No, I don't think I could.
Not.
I don't know. I've had cow tongue. That wasn't bad. Actually, cow tongue was good.
Cow tongue is good.
But I don't think I could eat an eyeball.
Remember I was talking about sweetbreads and you're like, oh, this sounds delicious. It's the pancreas. Oh, yeah. What?
But yeah, and then he comes at them with an ice cream scoop. And he's like, oh, you're next.
It's fucking awesome.
One scoop or two.
It's fucking awesome because it gets so ridiculous right then. Like, it's like, now he has an ice cream scoop and he's like...
And anyway. I think they knocked some shit over and created a diversion. They managed to get away, but he chases after both of them.
Yep. And he chases after Angela.
Yeah.
And he kills her.
Yeah, and he takes her head and like puts it into the projector and like smashes her.
And then
but the screen is turned on. You see the blood up on the screen.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Comes down to
just Anna and the boy Tomas.
Yeah. They're waiting for the police. And Anna pulls the metal bar out of the dead.
Yeah, the shish kebab.
The dead two teenagers. And they go to the entrance and the killer attacks them. And Anna gets stabbed.
Yeah, he stabs her in the back.
And he goes after Tomas. But Anna like kind of gets enough energy that she goes and attacks the killer. And she
gives him the old kebab.
Stabs him. And he drops his glass jar. And eyeballs go fucking everywhere.
Down the stairs. Which I liked earlier in the movie, the kid dropped a bunch of gumballs down the stairs. And it was basically the same shot, but with eyeballs. That was kind of cool. A little throwback.
And then Anna hugs the kid as the cops arrive.
And the cops show up.
And I was just thinking, this kid's fucked.
He's seen some shit.
This kid's fucked.
He's going to need counseling for sure.
And that's the end of the movie.
That's it.
Okay, I'm going to go.
Go.
I loved this movie. I loved it. I thought it was a great homage to slasher films. I thought it was, there was no twist. There was no like, oh, who's the killer? Is this... No.
The killer's nobody.
The killer is the fucking killer.
Yeah, it's just a guy.
He's a fucking psychopath, serial fucking
It reminded me of like...
eating motherfucker.
Slumber Party Massacre, kind of. Where the killer is just the killer.
Yes. You're right.
Yeah. Just a sick fuck.
A throwback to the 80s slasher films that I love.
Yeah.
Also, there are Giallo films that I like sometimes, but I thought this was a good modern adaptation of that genre.
Yeah.
I thought they did such a good job of bringing that to a 2020 time frame. Even though it was set in 1993, it's in the 2020 time frame. I
also liked that making it set in 1993 also took away cell phones. So I thought that was very smart.
Yep. And the acting was good. It's a foreign film, so I read all the dialogue, but the acting was still good.
Yeah.
I could tell the acting was good. I thought it was shot well. I thought the effects were good. The kills were good. Yes, he used a knife a lot of times, but you still cringed.
Yeah, the gore was gross. There was some gross shit.
Him cutting his own fucking eyeball off, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The film within a film showing I thought was cool because they would show that film. So as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, what didn't I like?
Yeah. For me, I thought it was a little slow at first. The first act is slow.
That's the only thing I could come up with, David.
Yeah, I agree. The first 20, 25 minutes
takes a long time to get into.
But once it gets going, it's balls to the wall.
So that's the only thing I can say that I didn't like. So I'm giving it 4.5 Pamela Voorhees Heads.
Shit.
I highly recommend this film. I think everybody, if you like slasher films, if you like giallo films, if you like foreign films, if you like gross films, watch this movie.
I like this movie. It's funny, just talking through it, I'm going to bump mine up a little bit. I had a 3 on this one. I'm going to go 3.5. The thing is, and I agree with everything you said, like it's just a very fun movie, very well made, very simple, but in the best way.
Yeah.
I just felt it was lacking a little bit in originality. Like it was kind of things that I'd seen before, but executed really well. I would absolutely watch it again. So I'm going to go 3.5. That's a 4 overall.
That's a great score.
Yeah, this was a very pleasant surprise. So good pick.
Both of these.
Rolling into it, I was like, what's this movie called?
I will say this too.
And it's subtitled?
Yeah.
Come on.
I will say this too. You told me what happened when you were trying to watch this movie. And it took you a long time because you would have to start it and then stop it. And then go do whatever you were doing.
This one took me a while to get through.
Yeah. And not because the movie was bad, just because you had other shit going on.
Each time I was eager to get back to it. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So that could have also affect your mental state when you're watching it. Because I know that happens to me sometimes. Like if I have to stop a movie and do something. Yeah.
But it was good. I totally watched it again.
Yeah, so recommend it. If you have a Shudder subscription, look it up. It's The Last Matinee. Also, Popcorn you can watch on YouTube for free. And it's good quality.
Yeah,
it was pretty good quality. Those are the movies that we reviewed this week. If you have any thoughts on these movies that you would like to share with us, please reach out. How can they contact us, David?
On social media, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, the Slasher app, TikTok, YouTube. Just search The Swearwolves on all of those platforms. On Instagram, we are The Swearwolves Podcast. You can go to our website, theswearwolves.com. You can email us at swearwolvespodcast@gmail.com, or you can leave us a voicemail. Maybe we'll play it. 623-282-1851.
So for The Swearwolves this week, I'm Brett.
I'm David.
The balcony is closed.